Hello, Syndicate members. So it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. We took a while on the EDM beds thing, and after that, I've just been doing a lot with GID. So first, because it's been a while, I think there's a good amount of new members that don't really know who I am, apart from randomly seeing me comment on stuff. So I'm going to kind of explain a little bit first before we get into the licensing opportunity, which is really straightforward and pretty obvious as far as what I'm asking for. So um, hello, my name is Trevor, and I own a library called Get It Done Records. And earlier this year, I started it with a business partner of mine, and we are building this catalog and pitching it to a lot of the clients that I already know. I've been in this for about 10 years, so I have a pretty good connection into the industry, and decided I was just going to build my own catalog instead of working for other people. So I've been doing that. Most of you already know that, but maybe some of the new people don't. So I've been coming to you guys to get really great tracks, and any client that I've had so far has been really impressed with the stuff that I've gotten from you guys. So I'm just going to keep getting stuff from you guys. So that's kind of it with me. I'm just a catalog building, or I own a catalog and I'm building it. And yeah, so let's get to the app. Funk. You guys overwhelmingly voted for a funk album, which was interesting. I didn't actually think that would be the case, but either way, really need it. Funk is super useful in both reality and in sports. Probably in sports more than you would expect, actually. Especially football and basketball. They use a lot of funk and you don't even realize it, just in the background, like during highlight reels and stuff. So it's like funk and hip hop are like the two. So anyway, putting this album together works kind of perfect because I'm really trying to go after sports and reality shows right now anyway. So let me just explain some of the technical stuff, and then we'll listen to some of the examples to get kind of a better idea of what I'm talking about. So I need 10 of them. 10 instrumentals. Start your DAW in 48K because I want the stems in 48K, so it's easier just to start there at the beginning. Do July 15th, or if I have 10. If you guys kill it and do 10 really fast, then it's a done deal. We won't even get to July 15th. But at July 15th, no matter what I have, I'm cutting it off. And if I need more, I'll get more somewhere else. But yeah, so that's due date. I need 10 of them. Putting this together, I already said that. Mainly sports and reality show. There's a $50 consideration fee for anybody who has been accepted, or any track that has been accepted. So multiple tracks, multiple $50. You guys keep 100% of the writers. We own 100% of the publishing, and therefore collect 100% of the sync fees. We also reserve, which may not happen, but I just recently met a dude that does some really cool funk vocal type stuff, like James Brown type stuff. So it may not actually happen. We a lot of times like to put vocals on top of the instrumentals, like after the fact. So we'll take all the instrumentals from you guys, and then a month down the road or whatever, we might have a vocalist throw a vocal on top. And the way we've been doing this is basically your instrumental version and all the versions that only have the instrumental are still 100% you. There just might be another extra version added on top of that where it's 50% producer, 50% vocalist. So it would look like the song version with vocals 50-50, and then all of your other versions, whether it be the full version or like a drum and bass version, because I make alternate versions of all the different songs. Anything that's just the instrumental, you're still going to be 100% of the writer. But a lot of times it doesn't even happen, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's see. We'll register everything ourselves as fast as we possibly can. And that's it. Yeah. So if you'd agree to all of this above, and this text will be posted in the post as well, so you can look over it. And here's about the music. So somewhere between 2 to 3 minutes is kind of the sweet spot for library stuff, and I just kind of keep it at that. A quick 1 to 4 bar intro. Don't just start the music. Don't just come in like doom, or whatever. Come in like or whatever, just something quick to bring me in, so I'm like realizing that the song is about to start instead of it just smacking me in the face. And make sure that's really quick. Don't have really long intros because clients are just going through music. So if some client has got a sports highlight reel, they're not going to sit and listen for 5 minutes, or for a whole minute while your intro is happening. Like usually I like when that little 1 to 4 bar thing comes in, and then it goes into a chorus and then into other things. It could even go into a verse, a short verse, then a chorus, and whatever. But either way, it's got to get to points fast and not just long drawn out intro sections. And funk doesn't really call for that anyway. So funk is kind of just get to it kind of thing. And a button ending, which if none of you know what that is, I think most of you do, is basically just that hit at the end. So if your song is coming up to the end and it's like dun, 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 and then you just go but, and then that's your ending. It's usually on like the one. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and then your song's over. Those basically are for video editors to be able to just take that little ending hit and put it wherever they need to put it in the track, so that the track sounds good with the visuals. Look at that, I have that in there twice. No, now I don't. Okay, 24-bit 48K. This is kind of important as for me as someone who tries to be as organized as possible. Make sure that whatever link you link is downloadable, like a downloadable MP3, so I can click download. And usually Dropbox or Google Drive. A friend of mine has been using P Drive, which is kind of cool. But yeah, some sort of drive where I can download the MP3, because when I accept things, I like to just grab the MP3 as I accept it and then put them in a folder so that I know what I have and have not accepted and stuff. So please do that. If there isn't a download link, I'm going to bug you for one, because especially if I want the track. And this is kind of a given, submit these as soon as you finish them. Don't like hold a bunch and then submit a bunch at the end. It doesn't really make sense. Submit them as soon as you finish them so that I can get you feedback sooner. And then if there is feedback, you make the changes. If there's none, then boom, got the track. If it gets selected, I will walk you through how to submit the final versions. Oh, hey, that's my well, actually, I don't need that because that's my copy and paste of Jesse's thing. I actually do the final versions. I just need the stems from you and for you to sign the paperwork. So, which I have a video that I will link in this explaining how I want the stems, which is basically just everything. And then from there, I mix and then make the versions myself. So you don't need to make 30s and 15s and 60s and all that stuff. I'll do it. Also, if you don't get selected, for the most part, I'm not going to just be like no and move on. I'm going to try and give some constructive criticism 2 different ways. Either A, why the track doesn't work like on a quality level, like, oh, the sounds don't sound right or whatever. Or B, a lot of times, and this happens a lot more than I would think, the track actually is a high quality. It just doesn't fit the album, which I've gotten a lot where like it'll be kind of funky, but it won't be really funk. Then I got to explain like, look, this actually fits a different genre and it could go well on that type of album, but on this album it doesn't. That way you can kind of, as well as not just considering my album, thinking about, oh, if I have a track that's high quality, maybe there's a different catalog somewhere that might want it, and I'm going to try and help you kind of get that. Sometimes, so an example, The Last Opportunity, there was one guy, I think maybe 2 different people, who posted kind of 80s EDM kind of stuff, like synthwave, Stranger Things kind of stuff. And I was like, doesn't work for this album, but that stuff is really popular. Get a couple more of that together and you might be able to like just sell that to a different catalog, or my catalog. I may need stuff like that. I don't know. Not right now, but either way, catalogs need stuff like that. So if I'm telling you like, oh, this works, it doesn't work for this album, but could work for a different type of album, really consider that, because catalogs need all kinds of music. So that's what I'm going to try and do, especially if I don't accept something of yours. And my final point is, please use this file naming system so that I have a really easy way of knowing who did what and stuff. So put your name, track name, and then the BPM at the end with underscores in between. So that way when I download it, it doesn't say like, dope beat 01, and then I got to be like, and then I put it in a folder and then I don't know whose track it is and I got to figure it out. That way if your name's there, I know whose it is. All right, let's get to some of the examples, and then I'm just going to let you guys go. This is all very straightforward. Even the tracks are exactly what you would expect from funk, right? So we go. Oh, and a lot of these have vocals. If you have some cool vocal samples that are like funky, like James Brown type stuff or soulful, and you want to put them in, cool, but it's not really required. These just had them, and I like the track. So for the most part, just focus on the tracks. Let's go, let's go. this has all of the like cliche funk elements, except for maybe a no, it's there. There's even a funky bass line, follows the trumpets and stuff. So yeah, this has the bouncy drum beats, it has the funky bass line, the dun, 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 kind of horns and stuff. Like, it's just upbeat, and this is why I think it gets used in sports and reality a lot, is because it's just kind of this upbeat, feel good stuff. And TV a lot of the time isn't trying to make you feel bad, so they want the music to reflect, especially in sports. They want you to just kind of be like, oh, that's a good play, oh, that was cool, and the music needs to reflect that. And so this kind of stuff I think really does, and so that's why it gets used a lot. So keep that in mind as you're making this stuff. Try to be upbeat and bright and funky. Yeah, this one, those brass stabs, that really funky bass, those real drums, real, it's probably actually all MIDI drums, but I mean, this stuff sounds so real nowadays. That's a cliche one too, that dun 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 dun, funky guitar riff. This is super useful. This kind of like really dun 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 with the tambourine, like that is like a cliche. You're gonna hear that everywhere on TV. So a track like that, one or two tracks with that kind of feel and stuff would be really useful. Almost a little bit of like disco elements involved in there too. Turn it up a little louder now. Yeah. I got paid for my step, money in the bank, living life like there's no regrets. It's time. And this one's like James Brown type thing. Let Destiny show. It's time to wake up. They got the fire burning. And this one is a little bit older sounding, but still, it's kind of like this Gap Band kind of funky thing going on. So yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to provide a link to this kind of little montage of tracks that I just kind of sloppily shoved together. So there's all these little gaps, because I'm trying to make it pretty or whatever. But anyway, so I'll put a link to this so you guys can download it and check it out. The one thing, apart from this one that sounded a little bit older, the rest of them are very modern sounding, but it's, funk still. It's not like there wasn't like trap drums, or there wasn't like all that kinds of stuff. It was modern sounding funk that sounds like it was like written during the funk era, but then like produced today, So that's the only thing about I don't want them to sound too old, most of the time clients aren't trying to get like a throwback track. They want modern sounding funk type stuff. So this is the deal. It's pretty straightforward. I think this will be a really fun one, especially since all of you want to do it. I'm actually really excited about the enthusiasm behind this one, because usually it's just me telling you what to do. But this time I thought I'd switch it up and see what you wanted to do by giving you some options. And clearly you guys want to do this. So do it, kill it, and let's get it done.